y'all, Sunny here.
Hey, this is Liv.
Welcome to
Colorful Situations, a conversation about love, marriage, and everything in between. How you doing, girl?
I'm fine. How are you today?
Fine? I'm doing good. I'm so good.
What does that mean? What's that in a color?
In a color, if I had to pick my color, I'm going to be yellow today because I feel valuable.
Oh,
yes.
Valuable,
which means if you follow that down to the center core, that would be powerful.
Oh yeah, that's good. Valuable and powerful sound like
yes.
That definitely sounds like it goes
And
together.
let me tell you, I feel that way because there's no secret. Everybody know I've been working on myself, and I see me, and I'm valued. I am the greatest thing ever.
I see you too, girl. I know you get ready for Freaknik. I know you get ready for Freaknik, and you gonna be ready. You already said this morning you gonna be ready to put your 2-piece on. So I mean, let's go. Let's get it.
Let's get it. So I am powerful and valuable today. So how about you, my friend? How you feeling?
I'm feeling content today.
Okay.
I'm just smooth sailing, laying low. Not doing too much.
Yeah, okay.
Minding my business, staying in my lane, doing my thing, making sure I got some good food, and taking naps.
Okay. Food and naps, that's all you need.
Drilling that down, that goes to joyful.
Okay.
So I am going to change me to green.
All right.
All
right.
So what are we talking about today?
Today, we're talking about parental sub. Yes. Parental substitution. That's when a person substitutes their parent or a child for their loved ones.
Parental substitution. You mean similar to, well, I watch a lot of TV.
Yeah, come on.
So you mean how these ladies have a son, and instead, like when the man leaves or goes off to somewhere else, then he's in charge and he's the man of the house, and she just put all that stress on him
at 8 years old.
Oh, that's what you're talking about? Okay.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay. Let's go.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. Or when a child puts the parent in that situation. Like the child doesn't want to leave home, failure to launch, whatever it is, because instead of them going and finding their own, they just want to stay in the nest.
But these days, people are staying at home till they're 30 and 40 years old, and their parents are allowing it. They're okay with it. It's all cheaper. It's easier for everybody. It's saving on bills and all this other kind of stuff. Another thing, in different cultures, it's that way anyway. Especially for the women, they stay until they are married off or something like that.
And I get that, but I think that also too, in those type of situations, they also know good boundaries. They know, hey, you're staying here because it's too much for you to live out there on your own. You're helping me, yada, yada. Or this is just a culture thing, but I'm not your spouse. Or you're not my spouse. You don't get to come in here and tell my spouse what to do. Or I don't get to come to you and talk to you and have you make a decision with me when I should be having that decision with my spouse.
Get it. Got you.
That's what I'm talking about. So like, tag, you're it. Like, oh, I got something going on. Let me go to this one. When your spouse is over here and you ain't saying nothing to them.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's a good one.
All right. Let's go. So my first question is, do parents often hold, or do people often hold their parents at a higher place than their spouses?
I think that, again, in some cultures, they do.
Mm-hmm.
And thinking about that failure to launch, my mama has always taken care of me.
Mm-hmm.
My daddy's gonna do this for me, and can't no man take care of me like
Like
my
my
daddy
daddy.
can. So,
Right.
my mama's gonna always cook. She's gonna
Yeah.
always be my mama, and the mama is that's gonna always be my baby boy, and I'm gonna do
Yeah.
anything for him,
Yeah.
and all this other kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I can see how people do that. I mean, if that's kind of how you grew up, or if that's how you were raised,
Do
I
you
can
think
see
we
people.
should be doing that?
No, because
Mm.
when you get married, and we're talking about marriage, right?
Marriage
When
or in a committed relationship?
okay, marriage or a committed relationship, when you're committed, your spouse is that person.
Mm.
That should be a right below,
Mm-hmm.
right below God. That's or whoever whoever your
Worship.
person is.
Mm-hmm.
Um, right below that, if whoever you're committed to, that should be the next person in line.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know that of course, you're gonna always have love for your mother and your
Yes.
father, but when it comes to you being in a adult relationship,
Yes.
this is the person that you bounce ideas off of. This is the
Right.
person that you're sharing your finances with, or you should be sharing your finances with. This is a person that you make adult decisions with.
Yeah.
So I don't know. You go say hey to your mama. I love you. We going over there on Thanksgiving, Christmas. We can split it up, whoever
Yeah.
we going to see, and all of that other kind of stuff. But yeah, no, that's not. No, I don't think
Yeah.
parents should go above your committed partner.
Right. And I feel like for me, so in those other cultures where people are, because let's just face it, in a lot of cultures you have matriarchs, right? You have people who are supposed to be this higher place than everybody else or whatever. Nobody is saying disrespect your parents.
Of course not.
Because your parent is that one that you could probably go to hands down without a shadow of a doubt.
I mean, if that's
the situation, right?
Yeah.
Because not everybody has that.
Right.
However, there is such a thing where you become your own person. Yes. Your identity is now not of your parent and not of that, bubble that you were in then. Now your bubble, you spare off. The word does say that you leave that home and you make one of your own. So if you got your own over here, how is it that you can come back and hold anybody higher than what you got over here? And then when you have your loved one and your mate, y'all are supposed to be a bubble and a unit together.
Right.
So there is no one that comes in between that. For me personally, how I feel.
I agree.
There is no one to come between that.
So it's your parents lay the foundation for you.
Mm-hmm.
And once you come into your own, you find a person to connect your life with.
Yes.
And then y'all build y'all's foundation.
Yes.
Y'all come together. Together. What you got, what I got. We come together with these morals and these values. We're going to figure out what works for us and our family, because not everything in your family works for everyone.
Everybody, no.
It might not even work for you. So that's why when you come together with your person and y'all figure out how y'all want y'all's life to be, that's the start of it.
It may not even work for your parents.
Right.
Let's just talk about that. Like, it may not even work for your parents, but because you and we are taught so much to hold them at a higher place or a higher standard. But let me just say, being a parent myself, and or seeing my parents in a certain light, I had to, thankful to a good person that's close to me, understand that my parents are human.
Right.
They're human. So they make mistakes too, right? So if I'm holding somebody higher than the person that I am supposed to be saying that I love, honor, and cherish, how is that when they're over here they're yet only human. There is nobody that is supposed to be higher, like you said. So, that can't be. The other thing that I want to talk about on this same thing, as far as like parents being substitute, you ever heard of or seen a situation where families get pulled apart because parents don't know how to keep children in children places? Meaning that the parents get into something, or the parents is going through, and instead of that parent talking to the spouse, they're going to talk to the child. They tell the child everything.
You know what? I do kind of have an understanding of that, because I have a friend. She had kids young, so she was young.
Mm-hmm.
They grew up with her,
Yeah.
Things like that. But she has told me that she always kept it real with her kids, let them know what was going on, what was happening in her life when things were going on. I didn't necessarily see it as a good thing, because kids shouldn't know everything.
Not everything, yeah.
Because, it was a time where kids thought that everything was sunshine and rainbows and all. It should be sunshine and rainbows. All I have to do is go to school and eat snacks.
Yeah.
Play with the dog. Go outside and play. You know what I mean? Because some things that I've heard from some parents telling their kids is traumatic.
It really is. And keeping it real, first of all, keep it real with yourself. Go out and get somebody on your level. Why are you, and I'm going to say this, ColorsBeams. Why are you on the level speaking to your child about something that's an adult stuff? Go find another adult to talk to. Now, that may just be your level of comfortability, or that may be the level of comfortability for that parent, because that's their child, and they just want to, they have nobody else. They may be new to the place, whatever. They may not have anybody else, but know that that's not the place to leave it. You know what I mean? Just because now you're tarnishing the person that this child is supposed to be, respecting. You're tarnishing that relationship and how that child views that person.
Yeah.
And I have seen it to where now, because the parent is always going to the child, now the child feels like they can tell the other parent what to do.
Disrespectful. Yeah, I think that's one of those things too that people, well, I don't know what people do a lot of, but I've heard and seen where the parents are not together.
Yes.
So all of a sudden the mama's dogging the daddy out, the daddy dogging the mama out, and the kid pulling his hair out. Need to go to therapy.
That part.
Because of all of the things that they've heard, and they don't know who to believe.
Right.
Now they can't feel safe. Now they have all this.
Yeah.
And then it's passing on.
It's passing on. Yeah. No. Co-parenting is probably the best thing that you could ever do for your child. Or just making sure that you get the help that you need so that you can be there for your child. Yeah. It is not your child's place to fight your battle. It's not your child's place to even know some of those things. And sometimes you can keep it real with them to say, hey, and this is what I would like to say too. We keep it real about stuff that is harmful, but we don't keep it real about this is how you balance a checkbook.
Yeah.
This is how you need to save.
Yeah.
This is how credit works.
But also keeping in mind, those people that are doing that may not even have that knowledge themselves.
That's true.
So they passing on what they can.
That's true.
That's not to say that it's right or it's good, but
that's true.
They doing what they can. Some people are doing the best they can.
Yeah, they're doing what they know.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. So the next colorful situation that we have on this parental sub is, should a parent run and save their child every time the child calls them financially without the child speaking to their loved one or their spouse about it? So you have situations where something need to be done, and I'm just gonna go to my daddy. Daddy, I need da 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 da. Something happened in the house. Daddy, I need da 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 da. Something happened to the car. Daddy, I need to instead of spouse, wife, this is what we got going on, what we're gonna do about it.
Well, I didn't have a daddy to run to for all of those things. So I've never even had to do that. So, I have an older sister, 2 younger brothers. Everybody has their own thing going on. Even my mama got her stuff going on, So, no, I'm not running to my mama when I need some help, when I need something done, because 1, I'm an adult. 2, everybody got this stuff going on. 3, especially if I'm with someone.
Yes.
As adults, then we should be able to come up with 4.
Yeah, something.
Figure it out. My 2 and your 2, we should be able to come up with something. Yeah. So I don't think that saving your children, of course I don't have kids, so I don't think that saving your children is a good thing, because it teaches them that they don't have to that they don't have to be accountable for themselves.
Yeah.
And I feel like all adults should be accountable for themselves.
Yeah.
It teaches them that their spouse is not is incapable.
Yes.
It teaches them that their spouses, and it makes their spouse feel incapable. Unless you have somebody that's, now, there are some people out there that just, call your mom and ask her.
Don't be that girl. Don't
call your mama and ask her. Call your daddy and ask him. There are those types of people. But no, I think to be a productive adult in society, you should be able to be accountable for yourself, your spouse, and your children. I know people fall on hard times.
Yes.
And I know sometimes that's what you have to do. Right. And that's fine. But don't run it in the ground.
Right.
Don't just do it just to be doing it. Don't just say, oh, well, I can go stay at my mama. I can go get money from my mama. Come on now. What are we doing? I say that because I don't want to ask anybody for anything.
I hear you. I totally agree with you on that one. So for me, I do have children, and it's a very slippery slope, right? I've always told them I'm gonna always be on your side when you do right. And when they were growing up, you are charged to guide them and to show them certain things. But now as they get older, your advice changes, right? So it's like I may tell you advice to guide you, but you make your own decisions for your life, right? I'm not there to come and throw things at you or come and save the day anymore. And like you said, how does that other person feel when every time you turn around, you're coming here? And I remember like my father telling me, when you leave and you cleave to someone else and you make your own family, you don't get to run home. You don't get to run home. And be mindful of every time you do that, to run home and then go and tell your family everything. Then when you go back to where you're going, because you're going to go back. Now they sitting over here feeling some type of way.
Everybody got an attitude.
Yeah, upset with your loved one, this and that, because you over here spilling all the beans, right? You don't get to do that, because now you're starting and creating something. And then as a parent, some parents want to do that because they do want to control your home. Right. Let's be very clear with that. Right. And if they go and they put money into it, then they get to tell you what to do with their grandbabies. They get to come and tell you when to go and do all of those things. And that's not a healthy situation either, right? Just to be power playing on, and we've seen this in different movies, or we've heard it to where, the parent roll up and it's like, oh yeah, I paid your rent for 3 months. And the other person is like, what? Didn't know nothing about it.
Yeah.
Didn't know nothing about, she came to me and I took care of her as I always have.
That's a fight. 1, that's a fight. 2, that's a fight.
Right. That is a fight all the way around. And you standing in my household telling me what you done did on something that I ain't even asked you to do. Because we are charged to talk to each other as in this relationship to figure it out together.
Yeah.
Like you said, now it is something different if we sit down and we say we have this, this, that, and this is our only option. Like, I hate to do it, but we doing it together. Or whatever it is that you decide to do, you're doing it as a united front and not, oh, wait a minute, I ain't got to ask you, I'm going to ask this over here.
Yeah.
Or let's flip that. Say your wife says, Sonny, you do not need a new car. I just bought you a new car, whatever. I want this new car, mama, and then mama signs off and then gets you the new car.
Yeah, that's a fight. That's disrespectful. Because one, listen, if we're doing this thing together, this is me and you. Like you just said, if it's something that we're doing together, hey mom, we need a new car. We absolutely need a new car because the wheel fell off of Betsy.
Right.
Thank you for your help. We're gonna pay you back. We appreciate it.
Right.
But if you're just doing something just because you're a spoiled brat, or something that you're doing in secret just because that's just who you are, that's an issue. That's a real issue that's going to continue to be an issue in your marriage or in your committed relationship.
Yeah, I totally agree. So now we come to the part where we're just going to check your levels and see where you at.
Yeah, so if we are hitting something, you feeling some kind of way because you're the one that's calling mama or daddy for something going on, or you're the parent that's saving your child in their times of need without them talking to their spouse.
Yeah.
You in the red.
Yeah. Red.
Now, I understand, like I said earlier, people do have things that come up. People, some job losses, some accidents, some health issues, anything like that. And you may just need help. Y'all need help together. That's fine. We're just not going to take advantage of it. You're in the yellow. But if you're good, you know that your person, the person that you have decided to be with, is the person that you can go to for help, financial, emotional. Y'all can communicate all of these things, and y'all are just doing that with each other. Y'all are in the green.
Got a t-shirt and
got a drink. Yeah.
Yes, that is so true. So now y'all know the drill. Again, we're coming down to the resolve. What's the resolve for these things? I say, like she said, don't overstep and overuse. Like, set some boundaries when you become with someone or in a committed relationship. Know what it is that y'all are going to do moving forward and how you're going to handle things, and set some boundaries with your parents and let them know, like, you can't come over here. When you come over here, you're going to respect my wife. You're not going to talk crazy. You're not going to come over here and do all these things. Not going to make her feel less than. Set some boundaries on what makes you feel comfortable in your relationship.
And that comes with couples with communication.
Yes.
Communication. This is actually even before you decide to get married.
Yeah.
Before you decide to move in, this is communicating with your parents. Hey, this is what's going to be happening.
Yeah.
I'm about to be an adult. So
that part.
Don't be coming over my house doing all that. We know. Don't be coming over here with that. And if I call you, and if it's not an emergency, do not. That's it.
Do not. My other one is you personally, if you're the parent or if you're the child, work out the reason why you keep tag teaming this thing with someone other than your spouse. Or your loved one, your committed loved one. If you feel like you can't trust them enough to get it done, if you feel like they don't have it for you, if it's something that you have to do in secret and not let them know something, you may need to reevaluate some things.
Yeah, I love that.
You may need to reevaluate some things. So really dig deep and try to find an understanding of why you're even doing that to begin with.
Yeah. Because it's like, what are you missing? What are you missing?
Yeah.
Is it something that are you not progressing at work? Are you not, did you miss a stage when you were
Yeah.
growing up? Therapy helps.
It does.
Therapy and counseling helps.
It does. And it could just also just really be too, because there are some people who may not be moving forward or making themselves very vulnerable enough to have a mate because they're holding on to some families relationships or whatever. But work that out. Like you said, therapy is amazing. And so if you can't be transparent and you're choosing to just substitute this feeling because you don't feel like you can trust someone,
that's a problem.
That's a problem. That's a colorful situation that you may want to check into.
Colorful situation. That's true.
It is.
So you all know that we're interactive over here, and we're going to be asking some questions, and we're going to post them down in the comments. And we want to know what you all think. We want to know your stories. We want to know how you feel about it.
Right.
So the first question is, have you ever found yourself in this situation? You ever found yourself calling your mom or your dad when you should be speaking to your spouse? Mm-hmm. You ever found yourself as a parent always going to save your baby because your baby boy need this or your baby girl need that? Let's get to it. If so, how are you trying to get yourself out of that?
Yeah.
What's your resolve to get out of that, of being that person to always lean on your parent instead of your spouse, or the parent that's always saving your child? Lastly, if you came out of the situation, what are you doing to keep yourself from falling back into the cycle of calling your mom or calling your parents or saving? We just kind of got to get out of that. As adults, I mean, I know I really don't like to hear people keep saying, I'm a grown man, I'm a grown woman. Right. But certain situations, as an adult, there are things that you have to do as an adult. You have to take care of yourself. That's not to say that you don't have a support system, or you shouldn't have a support system, but your support system shouldn't be supporting you all the time.
All the time.
Your support system is there for you, when you need, only when you need a little something over here, when you need a little water in your glass. You don't need them to be just the whole thing. You got to play a role.
Right. And support doesn't mean carry.
Right.
Support does not mean carry. Yeah. It does not mean fix it. It does not mean solve. Support is, let me get, what is it that you need? You need a pencil? Okay, here's a pencil. Now, what you gonna draw? Mm-hmm. Where are you going with it? What's your plan? It's not, oh, here's the pencil and here's the paper, and you turn left and you're gonna go right, and then you're gonna add to this and you do this and you do that. That's carrying.
Yeah. Yeah, that might be another.
It may be another topic for another day.
Situation. Another colorful situation.
Yes. So with that, we have talked today about parental sub, when someone is using a parent or a child in the place of their loved one. We did come up with some resolve. The resolve was communicate. Communicate what you have going on. Once you set those boundaries, it is, don't overuse. Don't always go to them when you can just really be talking to your spouse. And don't do anything in secret. Like, if you got to do it in secret, then you may not need to do it.
Pretty much.
The other thing is, work out the reason why. So if you're doing this, you're the person that's always calling a tag team and not really leaning on your spouse. Figure that out. Figure out what that is and what that looks like for you, so that you can do better for yourself, your parents, your child, and your loved one.
Right. That way everybody wins.
Yes.
Everybody wins.
Yes.
So we want to thank y'all for stopping by Colorful Situations to hang out with us for a little while. Mm-hmm. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and we will be looking for you in the comments.
Please.
And remember, Not all colorful situations are the same, but you have the power to change your hue.